Hello, ladies, and welcome to Impact Academy. Tonight is Sunday, and the date is January 21st, I believe it is. But welcome. I'm excited to be with you tonight. I have some great teaching for you tonight. As it says, tonight I am going to be discussing with you, every woman needs to identify these 4 things in her life before January 31st. Okay? So, now, if you would, please just give me a hello and let me see who's out there, because I need to determine if I can see you on the screen, if I can see your comments on the screen. For some reason, sometimes it just doesn't work, and it's not just me, it's other Facebook livers too. For some reason, we can't see the actual notes on the screen. Looks like actually wonderful. I can see it tonight. Yay! I don't know. Sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. So hello, welcome. So I can see your comments on the screen. This is great. Hello, everybody. Let me say hello to my inner circle. Hello, inner circle. Mwah. Welcome you guys, and thank you. Welcome you ladies, and thank you. Welcome all other vision building women who are on there with us on tonight. And I'm so excited about what I'm bringing to you tonight. I'm so excited about it. Like I said in the Facebook post, I'm about to burst, okay? About to burst, because I am so excited about it. Now, I will tell you, you need pencil and paper tonight, and you will need a blank sheet of paper, just a blank sheet of paper sitting by itself, or a blank sheet of paper in your journal on tonight, because I have something that I want you to do at the end. All right. Hello. I see Amy. I see Gail. I see Lisa. Who else? I see Ernestine. Welcome. Some people have already gone by, and I haven't been able to say hello to everyone. Let's see. I see Katina. Welcome. I just want to say before I get started that I had an awesome time this weekend. I was able to watch 2 amazing vision building women who are my clients. One of them did an awesome worship workshop, and it was beautiful. People from different churches were there, and Cheryl Thomas, who has her own company, who has ministry and company that actually teaches dance. And I actually take part of that. And no, I didn't do any of the dancing because the stretches wore me out. Okay, so I couldn't do the dancing. All right. And so, but she was awesome. And so congratulations to Cheryl. I also want to congratulate Dr. Tiffany Lopane, who also was one of my clients, who did a fabulous sort of like a new year, spend time on yourself kind of thing. She, along with one of the radio personalities here in the area, also did that. And I heard that was absolutely wonderful. I was also able to attend Frankia Booz's launch of the Restructured Woman, which is something that Frankia has been working on for quite a while, and she launched it this past weekend. I'm excited for all of them, and I just know that you are going to see great and mighty things come from them. So just get ready for all of that. So welcome everybody. And I am excited to be with you on tonight. Hello, Lalana. I see Carol. I see Della. I see Lily. Hello, everybody. Well, I tell you what, I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in to tonight's teaching, because although I say this every week, and most of the time it doesn't happen, but I'm going to try my best to make it happen. And that is to be off by 10 o'clock. So number one, you all can get some sleep because you got to go to work tomorrow. School is taking back in tomorrow. And I just want to make sure that everybody gets, all of us that are here in North Carolina, we've been out of school just about all week. Okay. Make sure we get our kids and get them out of here in the morning. They get a good night's sleep on tonight. Hello, Pastor Thorne. Hey, Andrea. How you doing? All right. So let's go ahead and get started with tonight's teaching. So tonight, I'm going to be teaching on that every woman needs to every woman needs to identify these 4 things in her life before January 31st. Okay, so I know it's a long title, but I've gotten so now that I kind of do long titles to make sure that you understand what it is that we're going to be talking about. Okay, so tonight's title is, and it's in the Facebook group, so you can see it over there too, but tonight's title is, every woman needs to identify these 4 things in her life before January 31st, okay? Every woman needs to identify these 4 things in her life before January 31st. Now, the reason I said before January 31st is because January 31st, believe it or not, is only 10 days away, all right? 10 days away, and we will have completed 1 month in 2018. You are 1/3 complete of the first quarter almost. Okay. And so what I found out is that as I have been talking to many, many women and have been just working with women over the past, just this year alone, I mean, for a long time. But if you just take 2018, I began to find out some things. These are just in like regular conversations that I may have with people. Hey, Christine, how you doing? How you doing? Regular conversations that I've been having with women. And so, God said to me that this month, he told me this month, this is later, previously, and this is why I've been teaching the kinds of things I've been teaching this month. All right. God spoke to me and said that this month, to get the women positioned for movement in 2018, okay, that my responsibility, okay, my teaching responsibility, my assignment for January is to get you positioned for movement in 2018, okay? Get you positioned for movement in 2018. I see so many people are joining. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Brenda. Hello, Kimberly. Hello, Aisha. Welcome, everybody. Again, welcome to my inner circle. Mwah. Thank you all for joining. Welcome to my private clients. Mwah. Thank you all for joining. And just welcome everyone on tonight. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you for joining us on the replay. And you're in for a great teaching on tonight. So, as I said, God said to spend this month positioning you for movement. Positioning you for movement. Okay? So now when we talk about positioning for movement, I hear from you all, and I see you all talking about the things that you're ready to run with, your vision. You're ready to do all these different things and run with the vision in your heart, and you're ready to make change, whether it's in your ministry, whether it's in your business, your life, your career, your business, well, regardless of where it is, you are ready to make change. Okay, you're ready to, some of you said, I want to start a business in 2018. Okay, some of you said, I want to begin a ministry. I'm going to start a ministry in 2018. Some of you said in 2018, I want to make my business larger or my ministry larger. Some of you said, I want to change careers in 2018. Okay, I want to do something different. I want to go back to school and get a different kind, so I can start a different kind of career. Some of you said that. Some of you said there's some life things I want to change in 2018. Okay, but what I found is we say all of that, but for some reasons, different reasons in different areas of our life, different people, the reasons are different for different people. Okay, that we just don't get it started. All right, we just don't get it started. All right, so tonight, for whatever reason, I don't know why you don't get it started. I'm not sure why my throat is itching me today. Okay, all right, but for whatever reason, we just don't get it started. It's January 21st today. We are 10 days away from the end of the month. 1/12 of the year will be gone in 10 days. All right, 1/3 of the quarter will be gone. 1/3 of the first quarter will be gone in 10 days. And so my question just becomes, I think I went out, Carol, because someone is sending me a whole bunch of text messages. Okay. It says I just went out. I think it was because someone's sending me some text messages. If you're seeing me, let me know that you can still see me. Give me some likes or say I see you or something. Let me make sure that I am still on with you. It looks like from my end that I'm still on. So I just want to make sure that I am. Okay. So let me see. Tell me you see me, or put some likes across the screen. So, oh, great. Great. Thank you, Dr. Grant. Mwah. Hey. All right. All right. So, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for giving me those. You see me. Great. Wonderful. All right. So now, so what I found is we want to do all these things, but here it is, January 21st. We're 10 days away from the end of the month, and we still have not done or even started some of the things that we said we wanted to start and we wanted to do in this particular year for 2018. Okay? So remember that we said that, what the Lord gave me is that 2018 is a year of taking action. That whatever it is that is inside you, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that God is calling you to do, whatever it is that you know that you're supposed to be doing in 2018, that you are going to do it in 2018, but have you started? Now, here's what I want to do. If you've been able to at least start something that you said you wanted to do in this year, I want you to put a 1 on the screen. You don't have to tell me what it is. Just put a 1 on the screen. That lets me know that you have been able to get started. All right? So if you've been able to get started, put a 1 on the screen, just 1. There we go. Thank you. I see the 1's coming across. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So some of you are getting started, and that's wonderful. But what I'm finding out is that some of you may not be. And regardless of whether you're getting started or whether you're not, I want to make sure that you identify these 4 things in your life before the end of the year. So regardless of where you are, okay? Hey, Miss Priscilla, how are you? Thank you for taking care of my mommy. I tell you that all the time. All right. All right. Hello, Florence. I think this is your first time. It's the first time I've seen your name there. Marcita, welcome, welcome. Hello, y'all. All right. So now, if when you get started, all right, sometimes we get stuck. We don't know how to move forward. We've gotten started, but yet it's taking us too long. And so we get frustrated and we get overwhelmed, and all these things begin to happen to us. So what I want to do tonight is, this is a year of taking action. And what I want to do tonight is I want to give you the 4 things that you have to identify, that you need to identify over the next 10 days, okay, so that you can move forward in whatever God has called you to do, okay, whether it's something in your life, whether it's something in ministry, whether it's something in your career, whether it's something in a business. All right. So just for a second, tell me what area that you want to be able to move forward in 2018. Life, business, career, or ministry. Pick one of you can say all 4 of them if you've got all 4 of them. But life, business, career, ministry. Which one of those are you wanting to move forward in 2018? Okay? Let me just give you a second to put that on the screen. All right. Gail says business. Wonderful. Wonderful. Career and ministry. All right. Wonderful. Thank you, Lolana. Career. Hey, Sheila. Hey, sorry, Sheila. How you doing? Career. To be the most organized in life, business, and career. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Grant. Ministry and business. All right. Wonderful. Amy. Business. Yolanda says business. Kimberly says career and business. Wonderful. Wonderful. Darlene says business and ministry. Phyllis says ministry. You know, what I'm finding out is that these are all things that we want to do. But what I want to show you tonight is that before you can do those, Aisha says life and business. Miss Priscilla says business. Ernestine says life and business. Duchess says ministry and life in terms of your health. Carol says career and ministry. Kathleen says life and ministry. Florence, ministry and business. Cassie, Marcita, ministry, business, career. Wonderful. Katina, ministry, career and life. So all of these things, I love that. Okay. So this is what I want you all to know. That until you identify what I'm getting ready to share with you tonight, until you identify these things and make some movement around changing what I'm getting ready to identify to you, moving forward is going to be a challenge. I'm not saying you can't do it, but moving forward is going to be a challenge. Now, I'll tell you, what I'm getting ready to give you is something that I literally identify every single time I get ready to start something new. Every single time I get ready to start something new, I do the identification that I'm getting ready to share with you, okay? I do the identification that I'm getting ready to share with you. Now, here's what I want you to do on a blank sheet of paper. You just need a blank sheet of paper, whether it's in your journal or regardless of where it is. I need you to, if you can see this, block off a big rectangle or square, however you want to do it, and block it off into 4 sections. Okay, if you can see that, block it off into 4 sections. All right, block it off into 4, or mark it up into 4 sections. Okay, I can't put this on the screen because it's going to be backwards from what I'm saying. So in the upper left, put the number 1, upper right, the number 2, lower left, the number 3, and then lower right, the number 4. Okay, so what you're doing is you're making a block, and then you're dividing it into 4 sections, 4 quadrants or 4 sections, okay? And then in the upper left, the number 1, that's block 1. Upper right is block 2. Lower left is block 3. Lower right is block 4, okay? Now, I want to talk to you about the 4 things that you have to identify, and you're going to put in these 4 blocks, okay? So I hope you're ready for this, all right? Because I want you to begin to do this. And this is something that when you do this all the time, when you keep these things in your mind, you will see yourself beginning to move. You will see yourself in terms of your life, your business, your ministry, your career, whatever it is you want to focus on, you will begin to see movement because you are identifying these 4 things. And you need to identify every single one of them. All right? Every single one of them. Okay, so let's look at block number 1. What I want you to put in block number 1, all right? Now keep in mind, this is going to be backwards because Facebook has this backwards, okay? So what I want you to put in block number 1, I want you to put the word blockers. Blockers. You need to identify what is blocking you. Blockers, B-L-O-C-K-E-R-S, okay? Blockers. You need to identify what is blocking you. Now, let me tell you about blockers, okay? Blockers are those things within us that keep us from moving forward. Blockers are those things that are within you, within me, that keep me from moving forward. Blockers make me get in my own way. Okay? Blockers make me get in my own way and keeps me from moving forward. Okay, someone is saying the session is frozen. Is it still frozen? Okay, I'm not seeing that on my end. Okay, someone let me know if you can still see me and hear me. Let me know that. Okay, thanks, Gail. Great. Okay, all right. So, Lisa, you're okay? It says no. Okay, so not on your end. Okay, so great. Okay, wonderful. Thank y'all. Okay, so in number 1, in that section number 1, I want you to put blockers. Okay, again, blockers are those things in your life that cause you to stand in your own way. All right, you got that? Blockers are those things in your life that cause you to stand in your own way. Blockers are things like stinking thinking about yourself. All right? Blockers are your frustrations. Blockers are your fears. Blockers are your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs. All right? These are things that we think about ourselves that block us from moving forward. So this is what I want you to remember about blockers. You must identify what about you is blocking you from moving forward. What is blocking you? What is it about you that's standing in your own way such that you want to move forward in your career, but for whatever reason you don't? Okay? I was talking to someone the other day, and she had an excellent example for a blocker. Of course, I'm not going to tell you her name or anything like that, but giving you the situation. She wants to go back to school. She wants to go back to school. Okay? She wants to embark in a new career. The new career requires going back to school. And she could go to community college to actually do this. All right? So I asked her, I said, what is so difficult about going back to school? What is so difficult about going back to school? I know she knows how to fill out an application. Okay? I know she's smart. I know that she'll be able to do the work. She has the time to do it. Okay? Because all of her kids are out of the house. She doesn't have the small children at home. Some people say they don't want to go back to school while their kids are in school. That's a personal preference. But she doesn't have these kinds of things. So I asked her, what is it that's blocking you or stopping you from going back to school? This is what she said. She said, because when I was married, she's divorced now, because when I was married, my husband told me how dumb I was. And now I believe that. Now that's something that I believe, and because I believe it, I don't think I'll be able to do well in school. That is a blocker. That is a thought. That is a belief about yourself, about, in this case, herself. All right? That is a belief about themselves that is keeping her from just completing an application and going back to school. Blockers are within yourself. If you don't take an inventory of your blockers, if you don't identify your blockers, then what could happen is when you begin to move forward, you begin to say, okay, I'm ready to do this. I'm going to start this ministry. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to get this new career. I'm going to start this business. But whenever something happens and it brings up these feelings, these emotions of not feeling good enough, these emotions of fear, these emotions of anger, these emotions of hearing things that people have said about you and to you in the past, and now you've put them inside of yourself, and instead of looking at somebody else and saying, you know what, I realize that you said that about me, but you don't know me. And on top of everything, the Bible says that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, but you've got to do the work. Okay? All right? Don't allow blockers to keep you from moving forward in whatever it is you need to do. Because remember, blockers are all about you. You block yourself, all right, from moving forward. Blockers are those things that you think about yourself. Blockers are those beliefs that you have. All right. Blockers are those things that are frustrations. Blockers are those fears that you have about yourself. And I'll be very frank with you. I am 54 years old. And this is probably coming from my upbringing in Richmond County. And there's not very many people on here, I don't think. I know Miss Priscilla knows my dad and my mom. Probably nobody. Can't see anybody else on here is from Rockingham. I think my cousin Sherry was on here. I think I saw Sherry on here. But anyway, some people know my mom and my dad, and you have to know my community that I grew up in. I grew up in a little community called Little Philly, and that's basically what we called it. What we still call it. It's called Little Philly, and we were brought up to be strong women. Okay, back in the day, I think my cousin Sherry is still on here, and she can attest to that. We were brought up to be strong women. We were brought up not to be intimidated. We were brought up learning how to fight. We learned how to fight very early, and I'll be honest with you, I ain't like to fight that much because I ain't like to get dirty. So my cousin Trish always did my fighting because I always had the mouth and Trish had the brawn. Okay? But anyway, we were brought up that way. And hey Hope, coming in from Alaska. How are you doing, Hope? Good to see you here. All right. And so, but we were brought up such that fear and being afraid of things wasn't something that we were brought up had to deal with. Okay. Because we were taught not to be afraid, because if there was something or someone that tried to hurt us, there was always somebody in the community that you could tell, and somebody in Little Philly was going to get whoever it was that was messing with you. So if you were from Little Philly, okay, if you were from Little Philly, and if you were born there, you're always from there. I'm always going to be from there. It's always going to be my home. all right, then you knew that there were always people there to protect you, all right? But this is what happens. Even when you grow up in a place like that, and then say you go off and all those people that loved you and cared for you are now no longer around you, and you're off by yourself. And then you've got someone who is telling you that you can't be this, and telling you that you're not pretty, and you think you're cute, but you're not pretty, and nobody wants you, and all this. And someone told me the connection was lost. I'm going to keep on going because it's not lost on my end. All right. Yeah, the connection is not lost on my end. So, again, I'm not sure what's going on with the internet tonight. If you guys can see me or hear me, let me make sure that you guys are with me. Because it doesn't look like the connection's lost on my end. So I want to make sure you guys are still there. Let me know you're still there. Thank you, Tamika. Thank you. I'm going to keep going. All right. So you grow up in a community that is very nurturing. Kathleen, you're so funny. That may be an Android thing, okay? You grow up in a community that is very nurturing, and then you go off, and someone tries to beat you down. Well, see, that's what happened to me. I grew up in a very nurturing community, all right? I grew up in a place that, if I just went next door and told my aunt or my uncle or my cousins or my mom or my dad that somebody was messing with me, okay, it was on. I'm 54 years old. It will still be on, and I'm 54 years old. Okay? But I left that community, came to NC State, all right, got involved with someone, and that person just pushed me down. Pushed me down in terms of my thinking, pushed me down in terms of what I thought about myself, okay? Pushed me down in terms of how I looked, This is somebody who's supposed to love me, yet they talk bad about me and say ugly things about me and all those kind of things, all right? And because of that put some things in my head. That put some frustration, some fears, and some things in my head that I was like, oh my goodness, And so that's what happens to us sometimes. Sometimes we'll get in relationships, and these relationships pull us down as opposed to picking us up. But then I had to learn, thank God that relationship ended. Believe it or not, I was in that relationship for 4 years. And thank God that relationship ended. It was mentally and verbally abusive. That relationship was. All right. It got physically abusive one time, and my family stopped that. My family put a stop to that. Long story. Won't talk about it on camera. Okay. All right. So exactly. Ernestine, we fall down, but we get up. So actually, by the time people like Ernestine then met me, I was back on, I'm good now. But there was a time, but what that did is that relationship, listening to this thing that this man kept saying to me, just kept putting me down. That relationship, I allowed what he said to be a blocker to some things that I wanted to be able to do. And those things stayed in my mind for a very, very long time. All right. So now what I'm telling you, I've told you that to tell you so you'd understand, is that people put blockers, say things to us, all right, or have said things to you that have put blockers in your mind. And those blockers are stopping you, all right, are blocking you from actually moving forward with what it is that you know that you've been called to do. Those blockers create fears. Blockers create frustration. Blockers create overwhelm. Blockers keep you from filling out a college application. Blockers keep you from going downtown and getting your business or your LLC or your INC. Blockers keep you from starting the ministry that you know that God has told you to do. Blockers keep you, all right? Blockers keep you, okay, I'm getting ready to go, blockers keep you from going to get the hair that you want to go get because you're afraid people are going to talk about you, all right? 2 weeks ago, my hair was up here. Tonight, it's down here. You know why? Because I am confident in who I am. I don't allow blockers in my life. If a thought becomes a blocker in my life, then I do exactly what the Bible says. I take that thought into captivity and let the devil know exactly, Roberta, that he has lost. He lost on the cross. All right. As far as I'm concerned, once I learned that, whole different story, whole different teaching. I can't get into that teaching on tonight. One of my favorite teachings in the world to do is the power of the cross. When I understood the power of the cross, then I understood that there could be no more blockers in my life unless I allowed them. So what I'm telling you, that was a long one, but you need to understand blockers first, because the blockers are the things that we allow to keep us down. Ladies, you've got to identify your blockers before the end of this year. Exactly, Deidre. No more blockers. You've got to identify them, because unless you identify them, you will not be able to move them out of the way. Once I identified the fact that this man and what he had said to me was keeping me down and making me feel bad about myself and making me want approval from everybody and all this kind of stuff, even though my daddy taught me that not to let anybody intimidate you, even though I knew how to fight, even though all these kinds of things that I knew growing up, or even though these things I learned, growing up, I still allow a relationship to do that to me, and it put blockers in me, and it kept me from doing something. Let me tell you something. This man, only a couple people on him going to understand this one, but this man almost made me not pledge my beloved sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, because he told me those women aren't going to want you. Why? I mean, I'm 3.9. Come on now. I was smart. NC State. Go Pack. Okay? I almost didn't pledge because I listened to what this man was saying. And let me tell you something. Yes, exactly, Sheila. Sheila. When I pledged, I noticed that he started going away. Whole different story, whole different teaching. Get the blockers away out of your life. You've got to know what your blockers are. All right. Yes, he became a hater. All right. All right. So identify the blockers, and then do whatever it takes to get them out of your mind. And here's what I do. Here's what I do. For every time something attempts to become a blocker in my life, I go to the Word, I find a scripture, and I speak that scripture to the blocker. Ouch, that hurt. Let me take this bracelet off. Okay, it's one of them clanking things. Okay, every time something attempts to become a blocker in my mind, if it's fear, if it's frustration, regardless of what it is, okay, every single time I go to the Word and I find a word that cancels the blocker out. There is power in God's Word. You've got to know how powerful the Word of God is. Deidre says, my old man told me not to pledge Delta Sigma Theta, and I always wanted to play it. See? All right. Blocker. Christina, come up with something. Being low, only Christ the King empowers us to resist. You know I'm going to steal that, right? You know I'm going to steal that one. A blocker is being low, but only Christ the King empowers us to resist. I love it. All right, let's go on to the second one. Everybody got that? Where's my sheet of paper? All right, so in this first block is blockers. First thing is blockers. Deidre, I tell you what, I can't tell you to pledge Delta Sigma Theta because that's between you and your husband, but I tell you what, it almost stopped me from pledging Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. But now I look at me, I'm like, now, y'all know me. If you know me well, you know by no means do I think that I'm all that. You know me, I'm a little old country girl, Richmond County, love going home, love my home. God has blessed me to be what I have come to become today. God has blessed me in so many different ways. But I will tell you, I refuse to let something block me when Jesus went to the cross so that I could have victory in every single area of my life. So when people talk about me, when people try to put me down, when people try to say things about me that would put blockers up with me, I go to God's Word. I find me a scripture. I speak scripture. I speak the Word to what that thing is, that thing that is trying to block me or trying to become a blocker, and I cast it back to the very pit of hell to where it came from. I'm getting happy up in here. Woo, Jesus. Number two. All right, number two. Into number two block. Okay. I want you to put stoppers. STOPPERS. Right? Yeah, stoppers. Make sure I spelled it right. Okay. Stoppers. I want you to put stoppers. Now, blockers are things in you. All right. Stoppers are things outside of you. Stoppers are struggles, past or present. Stoppers are people, associations, situations, all right? Things outside of you that literally try to stop you. Good example. I think it was Deidre that, this is get the Delta Sigma Theta example. That's a stopper. She said her husband didn't want her to pledge Delta Sigma Theta. That is a stopper. Okay? That's a stopper. That's different than a blocker. Okay? Because a blocker is when if like my friend at the time, when he told me that I wasn't good enough, and I believed that. That's a blocker because I began to change my belief about myself. Okay? But it's also a stopper because he said I shouldn't pledge, but I went ahead and did it anyway. All right? I went ahead and did it anyway. I called my house. My daddy told me he was sending me my check. Boom. That's all I needed. All I needed was my daddy to tell me it was all right. And I went ahead and pledged. Okay? So, now, but a stopper are those things that are outside of you that try to stop you. Okay? Good example. A stopper is someone who tells you, you can't go back to school because you have 3 children. A stopper is someone who tells you, why are you going back to school? You need to stay home and raise your kids. Now, granted, that's a personal choice. That's a personal choice. When I went back to divinity school, Bradley was 2. Yes, he was 2. Because he was 6 when I graduated. He was 2 when I went back to divinity school. And let me tell you, it was easier to go back to school when Bradley was 2 than it would be now when he's 16. He needs me now. He needs me because he needs me to do work and to take him from place to place and here to there. In this season of my life, being the mom of a 16-year-old, I wouldn't have been able to go back to school. Okay? Being the mom of a 2-year-old, hey, I just put him in there and me and him rolled on together. Okay? I read to him whatever was in whatever book I was reading, that's what I read to him. He didn't know any different. Okay? He just wanted to hear the tone of my voice going up and down. All right? So, stoppers. Okay? People's words can be stoppers. All right? When you believe on the word, exactly. Thank you, Duchess. It becomes a blocker. It's when you you are getting it. Yes, you are getting it. That is perfect. You are getting it. Okay? The words are stoppers. Your belief becomes a blocker when you internalize that. You got it. Exactly. Deidre says, boom. Okay? A stopper is outside of you. So a stopper may be a struggle that you're having. Okay? Like, for example, a financial struggle is a stopper. Or can be a stopper. Depends on how you deal with it. Okay? The fact that your car breaks down and you don't have a way getting back and forth to school. That can be a stopper. But here's the thing about stoppers. Stoppers are always external. All right? But here's the thing about stoppers. You need to identify them and put a plan such that you can overcome it. Stoppers are always able to be overcome. Always. You can always overcome stoppers. Always. Because stoppers are those things that are outside of you. If someone's words tell you that you shouldn't do this or you can't do this or ask you why are you doing this, cut them off. Just don't listen to them. Cut them off. Okay? There was somebody that asked me recently. She's at my church and she asked me, you don't speak to me anymore. Now that's not true because I speak to everybody. If I don't speak to you, it literally means I didn't see you. All right. And I said, well, you know what? I just, I'm so kind of off sometimes, and sometimes I'm thinking. So I said, if I didn't speak to you, I'm so sorry. Don't take it personally. Okay, please don't take it personally. And then she says, and you don't include me in your in different things that you do anymore. Now that is true. I will tell you why. I don't include her because she said to me one day, why are you trying to do all this ministry? Why are you trying to do all this? Why are you trying to help women? Why did God really call you to do all of this? Now, for a second, I was like, But you know what? My real friend are like, what can I do to help you? So see, when stoppers come in other people, you need to figure out very quickly how you are going to handle a stopper. Let me check the time, okay? You need to figure out very quickly how you are going to eliminate, and I will tell you, I eliminate stoppers. Now, if that stopper is someone in your family that you may not be able to eliminate, different story, okay? But if you are someone, if the person is someone that tries to stop me from doing something and I don't really need them in this season, come on. You really have to understand that when people or places, thank you, Kathleen, when people or places or things or situations attempt to stop you, there is always a way to overcome it. Okay? God has given you a way to overcome it. No, I'm not going to eliminate in a little Philly way. Hey, not going to do that, Christine. Don't get me going there. Okay? Mwah. That's right. I forgot you've been down there with me. You know. Personal joke, y'all. You have to know me and my girlfriend. That's my girl. Christine is my girl. I love her so much. All right. Excuse me, Dr. Grant. I always brag about her because she's one of 5 chemical engineering professors in the world. All right. Full professor in chemical engineering. One of 5. And I just always brag about her because she's a remarkable woman. But she is so humble. And I just love her so much. I could go on and on about it. But that's a personal joke between the two of us. All right. So now, stoppers you need to eliminate, because stoppers will keep you from doing what God has called you to do. Stoppers will keep you from starting a business. Stoppers will say, you don't need to start a business at this time, or nobody's going to buy that, or why would you do that? Okay? Case in point. Someone asked me, why are you leaving your 6-figure job to do what you're doing? So that I can make 7 figures, dear. Okay? That's what we're on our way to. You leave one thing so you can do another. So many times we stay in a place, or we keep ourselves stopped, and you never get to the next thing. You need to write this down if you haven't already written it down. You have to eliminate stoppers. You have to eliminate them. Either you need to stop listening to them, either you need to get out of that organization, but you need to do something if it's stopping you. This is something one of my friends called. This is one of my sorors, which is a friend of mine too. She called me this afternoon, and she sent me a text, and she says, "I've got to tell you something about this word." And the word was, "Get up off your knees." And she said, "Saundra, you're a preacher, and I want you to preach this. Okay, I want you to preach this. I've got to study it some more, and God's got to give me some more insight." But this is what she said to me, but it really, really spoke to me. And it's about being a stopper. Okay. She was giving me a story about a young lady who had been married to this man for a while. The man left her, or was leaving her, and they had been going back and forth and back and forth. And finally he was like, "I'm out of here. I'm leaving her." And she got down on her knees and begged him to stay. Well, what my friend, my soror was telling me was, "I want you to preach the sermon one day, Saundra. Get up off your knees." And what she meant by that is, this woman was begging this man to stay. She was begging this man, on her knees, begging this man to stay. And the man was going, "Some of you have allowed and have begged stoppers, things that are stoppers, to stay in your life. And you wonder why you haven't moved forward. Because stoppers need to be eliminated. Okay? Stoppers need to be eliminated. Get them out of your life. All right? Get these stoppers out of your life. It's if a situation that you're in, find a way to get out. If people are putting undue pressure on you, then find a way to get out of it. All right? Now, it takes prayer. It takes fasting. It takes seeking wise counsel. I'm not telling you to go to work tomorrow and that woman said on Sunday night to quit your job, because I'm not going to hire you. All right? All right, I'm not going to hire you, okay? All right, but what I'm telling you is, if things are stopping you from moving forward, then you need to identify it, and if it's a stopper, there's always a way out, and then you need to eliminate it. God is always giving us a way out. God does not want us in positions such that we are allowing people to stop us. You need to get out. You need to go, and go is get out. All right, go. I always say you need to go, and go is get out. So when you hear me tell somebody you got to go, that means you need to get out. Somebody said something to me the other week about something that had happened, and I said I'm processing it. And when I tell you that I'm processing something, that means I'm trying my best not to fuss you out. That's my little cityfied way of trying to tell you I'm trying my best not to fuss you out. Plus, when I get quiet and just say, okay, I'm just processing this. because I don't process that way. That's not the way I don't process by being quiet. It's not the way I process stuff. All right. So, but when something has become a stopper, get out. Go get out. You've got to find a way to eliminate it. Otherwise, the things that you want to move forward in, the calling, the career, the business, the ministry, your life will not happen. Number 3. All right. Talks about blockers. Are y'all getting this? Is this good? Is this good? Let me know. I gotta get my nails done in the morning, y'all. So I can't put that little finger up, but I messed up my nail there. Gotta get my nails done in the morning. I can't wait to get my nails done. All right. Is this good? Is this helping somebody? Is this helping somebody? All right. It takes a minute for Facebook to catch up. Wonderful, wonderful. Great, great, great. Now, let's look at number 3. Number 3. And number 3 is in your bottom left-hand side. All right. In number 3 box, I want you to put the word shifters. Shifters. S-H-I-F-T-E-R-S. Shifters. S-H-I-F-T-E-R-S. I want you to put the word shifters. All right. Now, keep in mind that blockers and stoppers need to go. You need to figure out a way. They got to go. A shifter, on the other hand, now we're coming to the things where you want these two. These last 2 are things you want. Blockers and stoppers got to go. These next 2, you want them in your life. Number 3 is shifter. Okay, S-H-I-F-T-E-R-S. Shifters. Now, shifters come in your life to bring something new. Shifters come in your life to bring newness and to bring change. All right? Let me make sure you got that. Shifters, let's kind of move something here. Shifters come in your life to bring newness, things that are new, and to bring change. Okay? Now, so when something new comes in your life, examine it, identify it, and ask yourself, what is happening or what could possibly happen if I take this opportunity? Because see, when there's a shift, there's also an opportunity. What happens so many times is we miss the opportunity because we are afraid of the shift. Hope you got that one. We miss the opportunity because we are afraid of the shift. We're afraid of change. We want things to stay the same. We don't want to move forward, or we're comfortable where we are. All right? But what I am here to tell you tonight is that when things begin to shift, people use the word, oh, there's going to be a shift, God. I mean, there's a shift conference. And if you got a shift conference, I ain't talking about you. Okay. But, but people will say, oh, we're going to be able to shift and all this kind of thing. But you got to put some work with the shift. Okay. You got to put work with the shift. And you know what? A friend of mine had an acronym for shift. Oh my goodness, I cannot remember what it is. Something happens when faith triumphs. I cannot remember what the S is. It is something. Something happens when faith triumphs. I can't remember what it is, but that was an acronym that she used for shift. I think I've got it wrong in there somewhere. If somebody remembers that, then let me put it in the thing there, in the comments, okay? But yes, shifters come in your life. They bring newness and they bring change. All right. So examine the newness, examine the change, and don't miss your opportunity because you don't want to change. Now, this one right here is a huge one. This one right here, when you miss the shifters in your life, and shifters are people, shifters are opportunities, shifters are situations, shifters are experiences. And when you miss those, because you don't want to change, because you want things to stay the way they are, all right, then you miss the opportunity that God has had in store for you. Oh, I like that. Seeking heavenly instruction for transition. Oh, I like that. It's wonderful. All right. Because keep in mind that when you shift, when something shifts, it's a slight move. It moves from one spot to the other. All right. Shift is not a constant movement. Got to get this. Shifting is not, oh, thank you, Joy. Something happens if faith triumphs. Thank you, Joy. I knew it was some, because your husband said it this morning. I think he said it this morning. Your husband said it this morning. Something happens if faith triumphs, okay? That's the shift that I was thinking about. Della, I love yours too, but that's the one I was thinking about, the one that Joyce just put on the screen, okay? So remember that when something shifts, it moves, but then it stops. Shifting is not continuous movement. I learned that from my son's 5th grade science book. Right? When the earth shifts, when the ground shifts, all right, it doesn't continue to move. All right? It moves and then it stops. All right? Shifting is not constant movement. Shifting puts you in a place, but shifting requires change. When you don't want to shift, okay? When you don't receive shifters in your life, then you will stay stuck. You will miss an opportunity because with every shift, there is opportunity. With every shift, there is a learning process. With every shift, there is an elevation. Okay? Every single time. Every single time. So, I wrote some notes down here. For example, I've got 10 minutes. For example, when someone brought something to me, a business opportunity, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. But then I began to realize that I talked to my husband about it, and I didn't even know that, because I don't pay attention to the stuff my husband uses, okay? Because my husband likes that, that kind of natural stuff. I've never been really into it until recently. And so when I talked to my husband about it, he said, well, this is something that I've been using for I don't know how long. And if I'm going to buy it, I might as well buy it from myself. I said, okay. So we got into essential oils. We do essential oils. I use them all the time. As a matter of fact, I got over the flu literally from using one of the essential oils that I had. Okay, it kept my symptoms down. It worked so well. I'm not here doing an essential oil commercial, but I just want to tell you that was a shift for me. It became an opportunity. So I stepped into the opportunity just thinking it was going to be something I did. Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be nice. And it is turning into a very lucrative business because I've met people that I didn't know last year. I didn't know some of the women that I'm working with right now in my business. I didn't know them last year. But what they have done is they've helped me learn some things that I have not only used in my essential oil, that multi-level marketing piece of what I do, because I just love that. I do it for fun. It started as fun, and now it's actually turned into a really good business. All right. But I've used it in my leadership. I've used it in my coaching. I've used it in my mentoring. I've been able to bless people with it. But it was all because of a shift. Some of you need to shift how you are thinking. Some of you need to shift how you are thinking. And when shifting comes, oh, I got to sneeze. When shifting comes in your life, you need to be open to the shift. I will tell you, you miss an opportunity when you want to stay in the same place. I'm going through something right now that's very near and dear to my heart. Something that is very, very near and dear. Thank you, Darlene. Something that is very, very near and dear to my heart. And I literally had to take myself out of it. All right, because I see people wanting to stay the same. I see people not wanting to move forward into progress because they want to hold on to something that is no longer there. I see people who just are saying to themselves, we want to stay right here. We don't want to move. And when everything around them is tumbling down and being crushed and they don't even realize it. And that's what happens to us. We get to a point where we don't want to move. We see opportunity. And God gives us a way of getting the opportunity. He shifts us. Our eyes become open. He opens a door for you, but you don't move. Remember, With every shift, there is an opportunity. Do not miss what the opportunity God has because you don't want to shift. And remember, with shift, there is newness and there's change. Don't miss it. All right. Number 4. Whew. Hope this is good. This is blessing me too. All right. I'm just loving it, y'all. All right. Last one. Last one's an easy one. Block number 4. Right there. Okay. Block number 4. You make sure you identify your movers. Identify your movers. Movers. M-O-V-E-R-S. Identify your movers. Okay? Now, movers are easy. Movers are people, situations, experiences, learning that move you forward. They move you forward, plain and simple. That's exactly what it does. All right? And I will tell you that all of you are movers in my life. All right? You all keep me engulfed in the word. You all keep me on my knees praying and seeking God and asking God for revelation of his word and making sure that I do the kinds of things that I'm called to do, making sure that I remain a woman of integrity, because I can't go here and do one thing and then I'm something else over here on another day. All right. You all are movers in my life. And then I have people who are movers in my life that are just there all the time. Example, Dr. Grant. Christine Grant's a mover in my life. There are other people on here. Carol Clark. I think she's still on here. She might be asleep though. Is a mover in my life. Okay. My husband, my son, movers in my life. All right. And I'm not going to start calling people because I don't want to call anybody else's name out and I forget somebody. So if I didn't call your name, don't have your feelings hurt. Please. I love you all. All right. But identify the people in your life that are movers. All right. My mentors are movers. Dr. Shirley Brown, Marshawn Evans, April Franks Hunt. All right. Those people are movers in my life. I've got some friends who are businesses that are movers in my life. Oh, Carol says I'm not asleep. Christine says a mover, more optimistic, valuable, empowering my reality. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. So identify your movers. Who are those people that push you when you don't feel like being pushed? Who are those people that are going to be able, that's going to stand? Carol and I were talking, we went to dinner tonight to celebrate a birthday of a friend. And Carol asked me about Teach Conference or Teach 2018 coming up. And I still haven't told the Inner Circle. Telling the Inner Circle tomorrow night. I'll release it to everybody after that. And so Carol said, when is Teach? And she said, I've got to be there. All right. She's a mover. She encourages me. She pushes me when I don't feel like being pushed. She'll send me a text. All right. Do you have people like that in your life? And make sure, and here's how you can identify a mover. A mover is a person that will move you without wanting anything in return. Give me 5 extra minutes. Okay. 5 extra minutes. All right. A mover is a person that will move you without wanting anything in return. My intercessors, there are 4 women that intercede for me. If I'm going somewhere or I'm doing something, they intercede for me. They will call me with a prophetic word that I didn't even tell them what's going on. All right. I don't even tell them and they'll call me. So this is what God told me to tell you. All right. Those women are movers. My husband's a mover in my life. My husband allowed me to come home and start this company and do my dream. He's a mover in my life. My son's a mover in my life. Because I've got to stay the kind of woman I am so he'll know the kind of woman that he needs to look for. My son's a mover. My mother and my father are movers in my life. I've got friends, my mentors, Dr. Shirley Brown. Those are movers in my... Do you have movers? Those people don't expect anything in return. They just love me for me. And they know part of their assignment is to push me. I know part of my assignment is to push some of you. I know I'm a mover in your life. But they've got to be other people that are movers in your life. Listen, let me help you with something. Don't mistake a mover for a stopper. Someone could be a mover until you start moving, and then they become a stopper. Be careful. Watch it. Okay? I had to experience that. They're a mover, then you start elevating, you start moving up, and then they no longer are a mover, they become a stopper. Okay? Because people are fine with you until you start doing better than them. Yeah, that's right. I said it. People are fine with you until you start doing better than them. Yes, Pastor Thorne, be discerning. Be discerning. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you. Make sure you identify these 4 sets of people. Who are your blockers? And all of them aren't people. Some of them are situations and experiences. But identify it. Who are your blockers? The stoppers, the shifters, and the movers in your life. Now, as you wrote all of those definitions down in this little thing, in this little block here, now what I want you to do is I want you to take this same thing and do another blank one. Put 1 blocker, 2 stoppers, 3 shifters, 4 movers, and then I want you to fill in, what are these things for you? What are these things for you? Okay? Who are the blockers in your life right now that's blocking you from doing what God has called you? Then I need you to put it here. If it's a person, if it's a situation, if it's your own, blocking or stinking is your own self. So what's inside of you right now that's blocking you? Stoppers are the people, the situations, the things. Write them down. Write them down right here. Right now. Not right now, but before January 31st, you need to do this. Okay? The shifters. Right here, right now. Write them down before January 31st. All right? The movers. Who are they? What are they? Okay? My library over here. And in every room in my house. Dr. Grant came to see me the other week, and she and I were going through my books, and we were looking at all different things. And I literally have tons of books in every single room, except for my bedroom, because my husband won't allow it. All right, and my son's room. But in every other room in my house, there are tons of books everywhere. My library is part of my movers. My library teaches me to shift. So shifting is not always a person. Shifting can be where you're putting your time and your effort. All right. So I want you to draw one of these and then begin to fill it in personally. You may need to keep this piece of paper close. Everybody may not need to everybody may not need to see your sheet here. And you know what? At the top of the sheet, thank you, Lord, I want you to put my spunk moment. At the top of the sheet, I want you to put the word momentum. Okay? Because understanding your blockers, your stoppers, your shifters, and your movers will give you the momentum that you need to move forward. Okay? Understanding these 4, identifying these 4, and doing something about each one of these will give you what you need to move forward. Oh my goodness. This teaching was good to me tonight, because when God gave me this and I really began to look at it, and he just said for 2018, give the titles as they are. Okay? That's why I said every woman needs to identify these things in her life before January 31st. You need to identify these in your life before January 31st, because see, 1 and 2, your blockers and your stoppers will hinder your momentum. Okay? Your shifter and your mover will help you gain momentum. All right? You got that? Your blockers and your stoppers hinder. Your shifters and your mover help you to gain it and maintain momentum in your life so that you can do what God has called you to do. Ladies, 2018, year of action. Whatever that action is that God is calling you. Whatever he's calling you to do, whether it's your life, in your ministry, in your career, in your business. If he's telling you that if you're working full time, and you know God is telling you to start a business, that doesn't mean you have to quit your job tomorrow. There are ways to do that. All right. There are ways to work full time and work your business. All right. I've done it. I did it. And I was able to eventually come home. People talked about me because I did it. I made the decision I had some help, but I made the decision very, very suddenly and said, it's time to go. When it's time to go, it's time to go. All right. And people say I wouldn't do that, but they don't know. All right. They didn't know who I had a mover in my life that was saying, okay, if you can do it for them over there, you can do it for yourself over here. That kept encouraging me. So y'all, Know who your blockers. Know your stoppers. They stop your momentum. Your shifters and your movers help move momentum. All right? They will help to move you forward. So I hope that this teaching has helped you. I hope this teaching has helped you. And before January 31st, make sure you've got this filled out for you. And sometimes you have to go back to it and add to it. You're going to take away from it because the blockers and the stoppers you're going to eliminate. So you'll be able to take away from it. You'll be able to add to it. But make sure you do it. Make sure you do it. This is an exercise that you really, really need to do for yourself. Okay? Do it for yourself and do it for those you love. Do it for what God is calling you to. Do it for your assignment. Okay? Don't let Jesus die on the cross. Okay? And don't let him take all the things that happened to him so that you could do this, so that you could gain the momentum that you need, and then you just don't even do the exercise to identify those things to move out of the way that he went to the cross to get out of your way to begin with. Oh, I can't preach up in here tonight. My God, my God. So, ladies, don't forget, we'll be here again next Sunday. All right. All right. Be here again next Sunday. Inner Circle, I will see you live tomorrow night. The Inner Circle is live tomorrow night. If you're interested in the Inner Circle, we've got the Inner Circle set up now that you can join absolutely anytime. All right. So we don't have Inner Circle. You can actually join anytime. If you're interested in the Inner Circle, go to bit.ly/the Inner Circle 2018. bit.ly /the Inner Circle 2018. I'll be announcing Teach next week. Like I said, I got to tell the Inner Circle tomorrow night. Got to do the Inner Circle first and talk with them about it. I'm going to open up Teach for some ambassadors. I want to be able to teach women how to do what it is that I do in terms of live events and those sorts of things. So we'll talk about that next week. So love you all. Love you so much. Remember, blockers, stoppers, stop your momentum. Shifters, movers, help you move forward, and they help you gain momentum. Love you all. I hope this teaching was great for you. I hope it touched you. I hope it begins. You identify this, okay? You identify these things, and I expect you to take action and do what God has called you to do. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.